Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome back to Indiana High School basketball for the start of this year's basketball season. I am Tom Smith. I was a basketball coach here at Speedway High School in the 80s. To my far left is Ron Probst, who was a basketball coach here in the 90s. And in between, the girls varsity basketball coach Joe Smith, as we are here tonight for the home game tonight between the Cardinal Ritter Raiders and our Speedway Sparkplugs. Coach, let me ask first of all, I know you've got new people on the coaching staff. Can you talk a little bit about your new help?
Yeah, whole new coaching staff. So it was, to say that I wasn't stressed in the spring when all that, didn't have any coaches would be a major understatement. But I've got a wonderful staff. Actually, one is back as a volunteer. It's Michaela Hall, and she actually played for me when I was a coach over at Covenant, and she's helped us for a few years as a volunteer. So she is back, but she's not here a lot with her job, so she actually was here tonight, which is a plus for our kids. But I do have three other new assistant coaches. Kyle Brown is our lead at varsity assistant. He and I go back to the mid-90s when we first coached out at Beech Grove Middle School, and that's how we knew each other, and he's been at some other places, and we kind of reconnected, and so he's done a great job. He's a great defensive coach for us. He does a great job with our guard development as well. Allison Nash is another varsity assistant for us, and people know Speedway basketball, they know Allison Nash. She holds about every girls basketball record, or at least in the top 5 here in the history of the school. She's a teacher's assistant at one of our elementary schools, and she wanted to get into coaching. She's just done a great job with our kids. She actually plays a little bit against them too, so that's helps them. She actually played for 4 years at Hanover, so still got some player in her, so we let her play against kids some. And our JV coach is Jennifer Jennings, and Jennifer did some behind-the-scenes scouting for us in the last couple years. And then our JV coach last year, Katie Payton, has a newborn baby and went to Jennifer, and she's like, yes, I was hoping you'd ask me to be the JV coach. So she's done a good job. It's her first year coaching. She's getting her feet wet, and she's figuring out how to coach kids and all the logistical things that most people don't know about coaching, but she's done just a great job as well.
It sounds like you've got a group that's kind of meshed in a hurry together to provide a good staff for you.
Right.
And speaking of new people around the program, you lost 4 seniors last year who scored a lot of points.
They did.
Not a lot of points returning this year. Talk a little bit, first of all, Coach, about your roster this year.
We returned, we graduated, the 4 seniors were starters for us, so we returned 1 starter, that's Camille. Camille's a senior, she's a 5'6" senior, is actually the returning assist leader in the state, regardless of class. So, but those 4 seniors helped with that last year. So we have Melinda Bryant as well as a senior that's returning. She came off the bench for us last year. She'll start for us tonight. Those 2 have done a great job of leading our kids. We have no juniors in the program. So we have 17 kids, 15 of which are freshmen and sophomores. We are young, but I think that this might be the most athletic group we've had. We've got some length, we've got some height, we've got some quickness. We didn't score the ball at the rate that I thought we should have last week. We just didn't shoot it well. But we shot it well in practice. We've had a pretty good week of practice, and I think that hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that you'll see a good product tonight.
So, I know it's always fun when you have a lot of returners back and you're really good to start the year off. At the same time, it's always fun to take a new group and see them progress throughout the year and get better as the year goes on.
It is, and our kids, after practice, a 90-minute to 120-minute practice, they're still out here on the court working with each other and shooting, and not just like shooting around and goofing around, they're actually working. Maybe we're not working them hard enough in practice. Maybe that's why they do that. I don't know. But yeah, it's, we'll start 2 seniors and 3 sophomores tonight. But as our coaching staff talks a lot, we don't ever talk to our kids about how young we are. And we'll go in the coach's office after practice, and we'll kind of get we'll be frustrated at something that happened, and we look at each other and go, they are freshmen and sophomores. So it's a great thing for the future. I do think that we can still be very good this season. With our athleticism, we like to press people. We got to figure out how not to foul people when we do that. And that happened to us last week. We had 3 starters on the bench, and that really cost us.
Yeah. So it sounds like more bicycles in the parking lot than cars.
That's correct.
Real quickly, give us a little bit of what we should be looking forward to tonight and the keys of what you think are the keys of the game.
Well, they got 2 players we need to stop. and I really shouldn't say stop. We're going to try and limit them. I tell our girls, you can't stop anybody. You just try and limit them. 22 is a great player for them. She averages about 14 or 15 a game. She's a returning starter for them. Wagner is her last name, I believe. Number 11 handles the ball a lot. She also leads them. They've got a pretty good rebounder in 15 on the floor. They're going to play a lot of zone. I'd be shocked if I saw any man-to-man tonight. We've worked on some man-to-man offensive stuff, but a lot of zone. They play a lot of 1-2-2 zone, which is, don't share with anybody, but not the funnest zone to play against. But we've added a few things this week offensively that I think will help with that. We'll overload the zone a little bit, and our kids have done a pretty good job of grasping that concept. So we're going to get up into people. We're going to try to press them and run them up and down the floor. We're going to press full court. We're going to trap in the half court. But we got to execute against the zone. If we do that, we got a great shot to beat them.
Okay. Well, hey, good luck tonight. And first conference game of the year.
It is.
And by the way, they do have a streak of 8 consecutive years of winning records, the Ritter Raiders do. So
okay.
You got them last year.
Yes,
so it was a good one.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll be back to talk to you after the game no matter what, right?
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to be back in just a little bit with the introductions, national anthem, and the play-by-play.
Welcome back to Pollard Gymnasium here at Speedway High School for tonight's girls varsity basketball game between the Cardinal Ritter Raiders and your Speedway Sparkplugs. Talk about starting lineups first. First for Ritter, at one guard, number 10, Melissa Matthews, a 5'6" senior. Another guard is Olivia Webb, a 5'6" senior. Number 11, number 15, 5'10" sophomore forward, Evelyn Buck. Number 22, the Raiders' leading scorer so far in the year, Kelsey Wagner, averaging 14 points a game. She's a 5'9" senior. At a guard, rounding out the starting lineup, number 33, Emma Hunt, a 5'9" senior forward. They're coached by Joe Standiford. The record so far this season is 0-3. The lineup roster contains 7 seniors, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores. So we'll talk in a minute, Coach, experience on the side of Ritter. For Speedway Sparkplug, starting at 1 forward is number 3, Audrey Burrell, a 5'9" sophomore. Melinda Bryant, number 4, a 5'6" senior guard. Daniela Galvez, a 5'9" sophomore forward, is once again number 11. At the guard, and the one that makes the plugs go, is number 23, Camille Perry, a 5'6" senior. She scored 13 points in the Plugs' only game so far this year, and was also tied for the leading rebounder in the game with Audrey Burrell with 7. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Plugs, number 32, Alex Delisle, a 5'11" sophomore guard. They're coached by Joe Smith. Both of these teams have played Southport. Southport defeated both these teams, Coach. So if you look at the Speedway roster, 2 seniors, 6 sophomores, and 2 freshmen of their 10 on there that they list as varsity roster versus 7 seniors. So the advantage of experience or age goes overwhelmingly to the Ritter Raiders.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here tonight, you can always tell you're getting close to Christmas. When you see White Christmas on TV and you see all those shows, you know you're getting close to basketball season when you watch Hoosiers. And I had to watch Hoosiers the other night. I didn't have to get in the mood, I already was. But it's a great movie, and I'll watch that every time it's on TV, and then it's on every week.
No doubt a classic. I was just reading in the paper today that they are showing it, I think, this weekend in Knightstown Gym with all the original things that they cut out of the movie that all of us saw.
It'll be fun to watch.
It seemed like it would add to it.
But you're right. Ritter comes in with more experience. We lost 4 really good scores from last year's team. Ritter has a run of 9 consecutive seasons of winning seasons going into this year. They started off 0-3 so far this year. It's a conference game, as you probably alluded to, but you know, in the NBA they say it's usually about a quarter of the way into the season so you really know what you got. So in high school basketball, you kind of translate that, you have 5 games into the season. So Coach Smith is just learning about his team. As he said before the game, we're going to be doing a lot of pressing. Probably trying to score a lot off of presses, off of defense, off of running. Not quite sure yet about his half-court offense. That's going to take time to tell, but it's fun. You know, I told Coach Smith, it's always fun to have a veteran team return. You know what you're getting. You're going to win a lot of games, but it can be fun, too, to have an exciting, enthusiastic group of young players and watch them progress as the year goes on, and that's what he's going to have this year.
Well, in talking to Coach Joe Standiford in his first year at Ritter, last year's Ritter team was good. Kelsey Wagner was a good player for them last year. My guess is a lot of those other seniors were probably JV players or players coming off the bench that were not starters for them as well. And for Coach Joe Smith, one returning starter, Camille Perry. Melinda Bryant, also a senior, will see a lot of playing time, saw a lot last year as a junior. But as you mentioned in your pregame with Coach Smith, they started 4 girls who graduated last year. So
I think if I had one returning player, I would prefer her to be a guard, and that's what he does have.
Well, she's the one that'll make them go, and she's very unselfish. I've watched her play for 4 years, and she's a talented player. What we're going to do here in just a moment is we're going to introduce the young girls that are on the Little League teams for the girls program.
Ritter in their history has won 6 sectional championships, most recently 2020 at Washington. And I believe they were in our sectional last year, if I remember correctly. I think maybe Indian Creek got both of us, if I recall correctly. But I was looking through their sectional championships, and one year they had the unfortunate to run into Harris Christian when they were having that good run of teams. And the 9 straight years of winning records, that's really good.
Yep. I remember when Tom Downer played as a high school player. I was really impressed with Coach Standifer talking to him. Nice man, understands the game, working hard to get these girls to know what to do. He said they'll play primarily zone defense tonight.
Antonella Morosa, Natalie Metallic, Abby Peters, Molly Seaver, Katie Taylor, Tracy Hickey, Riley Wilkerson, Dylan Young. Assistant 6th grade coaches, Kristen Smith, Jason Seaver, Chris Hickey, and Ryan Dinwiddie.
I hope you can remember back that far, Tom. I think I can. But how cool it was to go to a game and to see the varsity players. And those are in small area, those are your heroes. If they talked to you, if they looked at you, it was always something I remember a lot.
Well, it's interesting from these girls, talking to some of the players on our varsity that work with them and had a skills clinic and so on with them. Some of those high school girls are now babysitting at their house. These girls, hey Mom, I want this girl to come and babysit for us. I like her that's on the varsity basketball team. Just a great way to make connections with younger kids that will look up to the high school kids.
And that goes back a long way. I know when you coach, your players coach the younger kids on Saturday mornings in the same way with myself. And it's been a tradition that's going on a long time here, where the big kids show the way for the smaller ones.
Parents and players for a fun and exciting season. We look forward to watching our teams play this season. Let's give a round of applause to our future ladies Sparkplugs. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can please rise and remove your hats to honor our nation's flag with the playing of our national anthem by the Speedway Pep Band. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starting lineup.
As we said earlier, Ritter will probably be in the zone. Speedway plays mostly man-to-man. They will play some zone. But my guess would be, like you said, like Coach Smith said, you'll see more pressure coming from Speedway. Coach Joe Smith likes to press. Against Southport, they got in trouble with foul trouble pressing because they were reaching rather than moving their feet. But I'm sure they've worked on that in practice since they played Southport. I know that Ritter has played Lebanon, Southport, and
Connorsville Spartans. One of my favorite gyms in the state to go watch games, the Spark Bowl. Just,
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Speedway Sparkplugs. Head guard, 5'6" senior, number 4, Melinda Bryant. senior, number 23, Camille Perry. At guard, 5'11" sophomore, number 32, Alex Pollard. At forward, 5'9" sophomore, number 3, Audrey Burrell. And at forward, 5'9" sophomore, number 11, Danielle Galvez. Head coach of the Sparkplugs, Joe Smith, assisted by Kyle Brown, Michaela Hall, Jennifer Skiddy, and Allison Nash.
So it's that time of year, Coach.
Yeah.
Both these teams, again, looking for their first victory. Ritter Raiders 0-3, the Sparkplugs 0-1.
Ritter through 3 games, averaging 31 a game, giving up 60. He didn't take it long.
Right. Off the opening tip, Kelsey Wagner with a field goal. 2-3 zone. 1-2-2. Mishandled by the Sparkplugs. Ritter will have the ball out of bounds. Shot taken by Evelyn Buck, rebound by Alex Delisle, and a foul. Well, it's hard seeing the Ritter numbers on there.
Yeah.
Ritter foul on number 10, Melissa Matthews.
Melissa Matthews with her first foul. Got another foul on Melissa Matthews. Her second. Into the ball game is DeVay Small. DeVay, a 5'6" junior. Another turnover for the Sparkplugs. That's the girl they can't let shoot, Coach, and she's had 3 open shots.
By name, that's who Coach Smith said. We make sure we know where she's at the whole game.
So Ritter off to a fast start, 5-0 lead. Had about a minute and a half of the play so far. Audrey Burrell with a shot, around and out. The Sparkplug ball out of bounds. Melinda Bryant will inbound it. Once again, Melinda and Camille, the 2 senior starters. The other 3 are sophomores. Daniela Galvez drives the basket and scores.
Danielle had a lot of minutes from last year, as I recall. Did a great job on the boards for us.
Camille Perry with a rebound. Takes it the length of the floor, misses. Audrey Burrell with a shot, no good. Daniela Galvez with a putback. And that's her 4th point. Shot missed by the Raiders. It'll be Sparkplug ball.
Raider foul on number 11, Olivia Webb.
Olivia Webb with the foul for the Raiders. Almost a turnover for the Sparkplugs. Ritter player stepped out of bounds.
First game of the year, the only game of the year for Speedway, did a good job shooting the ball from 2-point range, but not a very good job shooting from threes.
Another turnover for the Sparkplugs.
We go with our first changing defenses of the night.
Little zone trap. Audrey Burrell with a shot, no good. Alex Delisle with a putback, and she gets fouled.
Raider foul on number 15, Evelyn Buck.
Foul on Evelyn Buck, her first. Alex Delisle will go to the line for the Sparkplugs.
I think early on in the game, for as young as the Sparkplugs are, something I'm impressed with so far is our ability to look down the floor against the pressure. A lot of times younger players are back and forth, they'll go more east and west, and they haven't all been perfect passes, but we're at least looking down to the corners, which is where open people are.
Delisle hits the second of 2 free throws, and the score now 5-5. So Ritter start off with a 5-point lead, now 5-5. Genesis Austin, a freshman, into the game for the Sparkplugs, along with Chloe Ellett, a sophomore. And this is what Coach Smith will do. He'll bring 2 players typically in at a time to give players rest.
Good break.
Good pass from Genesis Austin to Alex Delisle. Second field goal goes in after missing the first, and the Plugs had their first lead of the night at 7-5.
Really good job that time of handling the press, and it's exactly how it's supposed to be done.
So once again, Ritter started off with a 5-0 lead. The Plugs have come back to score 7 in a row. 4 by Daniela Galvez and 3 by Alex Delisle. As we said earlier, Camille Perry will be the one against their pressure that years ago, the boys' side of things, Sparkplugs had a guard named Craig Hoagie, and Coach Pollard's press offense was get the ball to Hoagie and let him beat it with dribbling.
And, you know, chuckle with that, but that's how you, when you got a good player that can do that, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, I know we've talked about this before other years, but it just still amazes me how far the women's game has come. High school, college.
And we've said it before too, but it's probably basketball is more pure in nature in terms of fundamentals than what has happened with boys.
And that That comment actually was made by a coach by the name of Johnny Wood when he was still living, saying that he really enjoyed watching the women's game because they didn't try to do a lot of the things that the men try to do.
Basket by DeVay Small. Genesis Austin tracks down the rebound.
Whether or not the ball's bouncing our way or what, but we seem to be getting a lot of offensive rebounds. I know we've gotten at least 5 or 6 so far in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Well, they have some. Daniela Galvez is 5'9", Alex Delisle is 5'11". Delisle with a three-pointer, and Genesis Austin is 5'11" also. So they've got some size they didn't have last year. That's going to be a foul on Alex Delisle. Plugs lead 10-7. Back into the game for the Sparkplugs is Melinda Bryant, replacing Alex Delisle. Knocked away by Daniela Galvez, picked up by Camille Perry. She'll stop for the three-pointer, misses. Melinda Bryant gets the offensive rebound. Perry again for three and hits this one. B Sparkplug ball out of bounds on the turnover. 13-7. So a 13-2 run by the Sparkplugs. Daniela Galvez inside. She scores again, her 6th point. And that's going to be a foul on Melinda Bryant, I believe. That's Bryant's first. Audrey Burrell comes back in, replacing Genesis Austin. Once again, Genesis, a freshman. A little double dribble there by the Raiders. Kelsey Wagner. Good pass from Audrey Burrell to Chloe Ellett. She's going to go to the free throw line.
Raider foul on number 22, Kelsey Wagner.
Foul on Kelsey Wagner, her first.
Number 10, Chloe Ellett.
Chloe Ellett will be the line for 2. Chloe hits her first free throw. Chloe's another sophomore. They'll see a lot of action this year. She hits her second free throw. 17-7 Sparkplugs.
Ritter having a really difficult time solving this 1-2-2 half-court pressure that the Sparkplugs have put on.
I believe that's going to be a foul on Chloe Ellett.
Speedway foul on number 10, Chloe Ellett.
That's her second.
She said a 17-2 run so far. by Speedway. Ritter jumped up to a quick 5-0 lead.
Checking in for the Sparkplugs, number 5, Reagan Hendry.
Alex Delisle back in for Chloe Ellett.
Number 32, Alex Delisle.
Reagan Hendry also into the lineup.
For those that not aware, if the free throw does not hit the rim, it's an automatic turnover. Ball goes to the other team.
First time we haven't seen the press from the Raiders on.
I think that was a good call, pulling that press off.
One to Bryant for 3. Alex Delisle with a rebound. It's blocked. Audrey Burrell with Camille Perry. Falls off the end. Burrell with a rebound back up. Perry with a rebound back up. Field goal by Kelsey Wagner. Wagner has 7 of the Raiders' 9 points. Melinda Bryant. It'll be Sparkplug ball, the jump ball with Alex Delisle with the plugs. Possession arrow goes to Speedway. Reagan Hendry will inbound it. Melinda Bryant with the 3, no good. Delisle. Ritter travels, it'll be Speedway ball. Speedway throws away the inbound pass. We're going to have a foul on Audrey Burrell.
Those are the
Both
fouls
teams with 5 fouls.
Those are the fouls you don't like to see. The reach-ins on your 70 feet from the other basket.
Made field goal by Olivia Webb.
At 15 seconds remaining in the quarter, Coach Smith called out special.
Reagan Hendry with a shot. No good. And that ends the first quarter with the score. Speedway 17, Ritter 12.
A lot of action first quarter of play. And we're going to wait just a minute here. I think there's a special presentation here at mid-court.
Sparkplug fans, please focus your attention on center court. For tonight, we have a very special announcement and presentation. The Speedway High School 500 Regiment Band is raising funds to purchase new uniforms. The fundraising campaign goal for New York uniforms is $54,000. Tonight, we have members of the Speedway Lions Club Board of Directors, Secretary Henry Hadwick, Treasurer John Reller, the Vice President Tim Ramian, and the President Gary Race. They are here to present a check to our band director Amy Mole, Principal James Claiborne, drum majors Haley McCracken and AJ Gordon, and Gabby Endries. Also present this evening for this presentation, Speedway's Superintendent of Schools, Hal Treveley, and Assistant Superintendent John Disney. The Speedway Lions Club has been a supporting partner of Speedway schools for decades. Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of the donation from the Lions Club this evening totals $10,000.
I watched the video this morning, Tom. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it when Speedway High School was named the special award given the Blue Ribbon School. And they interviewed a lot of the administrative staff here, and the one thing that kept coming up amongst anybody that they interviewed was the unbelievable support of the community and the Lions Club. When I was a coach, when I was an athletic director, they were always there to help. They give their time, they give their energy, and it's amazing how much they help our community.
And it's also neat at the last Lions Club meeting, the jazz band played. The one prior to that, the junior high choir sang. So I think the Lions Club, like you said, is an organization that gives back. The school also does things that helps out the Lions Club as well. But I think I joined the Lions Club in 1995, so that's a nice good pass to Daniela Galvez. 21 years I belong to the Lions Club, and they do a lot for the community, and that's what they like doing.
Yep.
They try to raise money to turn around and give it back. I know they have a scholarship program that every year they give scholarships to graduating seniors here at Speedway High School. And Bryant for three misses. 17-14, Ritter has closed the gap and scored 7 points in a row. Been a game of runs so far.
I think in the Ritter huddle, the quarter break, and I've been coach, I think the first thing I would address was do a little bit better job on the defensive board, because I know Speedway got at least 8 or 9 offensive rebounds in that first half or first quarter of play.
Daniela Galvez with the rebound for the Sparkplugs. Audrey Wendell into the game, a freshman for the Plugs. She puts it up and in. 2 points for freshman Audrey Wendell.
She's a shooter.
Kelsey Wagner for 3 for the Raiders. Into Bryant. Wendell with a nice save into Daniela Galvez. Melinda Bryant will inbound it.
Nice cut.
Audrey, a nice pass over to Audrey. Burrell for her first 2. Audrey to Audrey. The assist to Audrey Wendell, and the field goal by Audrey Burrell. One of the things Coach Smith does, particularly early in the season, which I think is smart, is Audrey Wendell and Reagan Henry both are on the JV team and playing a couple quarters there to get some playing time and then saving them for varsity games.
I'm pretty sure I know the rule, but correct me if I'm wrong. I know when we were coaching, players had the opportunity to play 4 quarters in a night, so you would have to make that decision. Now I believe it's 5 quarters in one night, and then it's also so many quarters on the entire season. So you can't have players playing, 140 quarters in a year.
Right.
And that's for obviously for health reasons. And
21-17, 4:58 left in this first half. Genesis Austin back in the lineup for the Sparkplugs, so they've got 2 freshmen, 2 seniors, and 1 sophomore in the lineup right now. Alex Delisle comes up with a rebound, and
Good call.
Camille Perry with the turnover. Double dribble. The Raider ball underneath their own basket. Camille Perry with the block. Chloe Ellett back in the lineup for Melinda Bryant. I think Melinda was trying to tell Audrey something then, and Camille threw the ball. I've never seen that hit somebody in the head and go back across, have a 10-second or have a half-court violation. Alex Delisle with the tip to get the steal. Chloe Ellett for three. Already succeeded the number of threes they hit in the first game of the season. 24-17, 3:50 remaining in the first half on the three by Chloe Ellett. Good defense by Camille Perry, preventing Kelsey Wagner from getting the ball. Kelsey Wagner comes up with a loose ball and is fouled by Camille Perry. That's Perry's first foul.
Speedway foul number 23, Camille Perry, Kelsey Wagner.
It's her 11th point and 12th point. Timeout taken by the Raiders. You can tell Kelsey Wagner is a player. She's got, I said, had 7 the first quarter. She's got 5 this quarter, so 12 of the 19 points they have from their offense comes from her. And as we said earlier, she's leading scorer, averaging 14 a game.
You know, early in the season, you don't do a lot of game planning. I mean, you don't know that much about your opponent. You know a little bit. That's one of the things we didn't know about Ritter going into this game tonight. But as the year goes on and your scouting becomes a little bit more in depth, you do a little bit more game planning. You take away some things, you know what to expect. And this is a team that you can see deception, so you don't show your whole hand, even though it's early in the year. You don't want to show them everything you got either. And that goes both ways. Ritter the same way.
I believe that's Ritter's second timeout. Daniela Galvez back in the lineup for the Sparkplugs, replacing Audrey Wendell.
A little bit of a change up now. And I think if I'm Coach Smith, I know exactly where, against the man-to-man press, I know exactly where I want that ball to go.
Wagner on a drive, misses. Rebound comes off to Chloe Ellett. Out to Daniela Galvez, banks in a three. And that's her 9th point on the night. 27-19, 3 minutes to go in this first half. Genesis Austin with a rebound to Camille Perry. Bad pass by Genesis Austin results in a turnover. Audrey Burrell and Melinda Bryant come back in the lineup. So the original starting lineup is now back in for the Sparkplugs. 2:15 to go. This first half, 27-19.
I think since Ritter changed the man-to-man, it's changed our game a little bit on the offensive end. We've been a little bit sloppy. I know Coach Smith wasn't really expecting to see much man-to-man tonight, if any.
Neil Perry for three. Rebound by Daniela Galvez.
She is a really good offensive rebound, Danielle is.
Neil Perry with her own rebound, and she gets fouled.
Raider foul on number 15, Evelyn Buck on the line.
Evelyn Buck with her second foul. Camille Perry will be back at the line for two. Makes the first one. Addie Roberts comes into the ball game for Cardinal Ritter Raiders.
I realize it's early in the game, but one thing you want is your point guard to be able to hit free throws.
You know, I was going to mention that. I didn't want to put the hex on her, but I think in the first game she was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. She's 2 for 2 here, so, and that was one of the areas last year of Camille was not as good a free throw shooter as I thought she would be. DeVay Small on the field goal for the Raiders. Daniela Galvez for three. She's got 12 points for the Plugs, their leading scorer in the game so far. Galvez with the offensive or defensive rebound, passes to Audrey Burrell. Galvez misses on the short jumper.
Didn't quite have the handle on it when she went up. Got 25 seconds to go till the halftime.
Neil Perry comes down with a rebound for the Plugs. Takes to the basket, misses. Shot inside the lane, and that's going to be the first half. Score at halftime, the Speedway Sparkplugs 32, the Cardinal Ritter Raiders 21. We'll be right back with your halftime stats. are back here at halftime at Speedway High School. The Plugs with a 32-21 lead over the Cardinal Ritter Lady Raiders. Scoring for Speedway, Audrey Burrell has 2 points. Chloe Ellett has 5 points. Daniela Galvez, the leading scorer with 12. Camille Perry has 5. Audrey Wendell has 2. And Alex Delisle has 6 for their total of 32. For Cardinal Ritter, Olivia Webb has 2. Evelyn Buck has 1. Kelsey Wagner has 12. DeVay Small has 4. And Emma Hunt has 2. They scored 12 the first quarter, 9 the second quarter for their total of 21. Coach, your thoughts, first half of play?
Well, kind of like what I mentioned at the end of the first quarter. If I'm Ritter, I'm really concerned about the defensive board. I wish I had kept track of how many offensive board and conversions that Speedway had in the first half. They've got a lot of points off second, third, fourth shots. That would be my concern if I was Ritter. Speedway, I think we've done a lot better job tonight of not fouling in our pressing, which has been good. I'm impressed with Speedway, the fact that I've actually both coaches, but they're not trying to overcoach the teams early in the year. They'll let the girls play. Maybe 4 or 5 games down the line, you won't see some of the shots you're seeing tonight, but you don't know what you got.
Yeah.
And
in particular, with many young kids that they have.
yeah.
That I think that's a good point you make. Let them play, then watch the tape of the game afterwards and try to correct things during the week. I know Speedway's got a tough game in their next game against Danville, who I think has one of the better players. I know they did last year. I think that they've got another one this year that's really good too. But long time now deceased coach at Speedway, I remember Bruce Hutchings always telling me that if the favorite always won, you wouldn't play. And what makes all sports exciting? Look at the NFL last weekend. Who would have thought Jacksonville would have beat the Buffalo Bills? So, but there's certainly room to grow for the young Sparkplug team. But they'll make their way through all that. And like you say, if Coach Smith was up yelling and screaming and getting on them, and then they became afraid to play, they're certainly loose now. They've let some shots fly.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm Ritter, I think you got to look to your 2 good scorers, 11 and 22. Wagner's having a good game. And it looks like they're going back to man-to-man.
Audrey Burrell with a shot, misses. They've got to travel underneath the basket. It'll be Sparkplug ball out underneath their own basket.
They've got to do a better job on the defensive boards. If Ritter can do that, they're down 11. They could be back in this game. Honestly, I think these are 2 pretty evenly matched teams.
Good pass from Alex Delisle to Audrey Burrell for the field goal. Speedway opened up the scoring this second half. The Sparkplugs will start with the same 5 that started the game. Daniela Galvez.
Nice cut.
Melissa Matthews with her first field goal. Alex Delisle, Audrey Burrell, Daniela Galvez, Melinda Bryant, Camille Perry, the 5 starters for the Sparkplugs. Steal by the Sparkplugs. Camille Perry with a shot, misses, comes in and gets hands on the ball, and then Daniela Galvez with a double dribble turns it over. Still 11-point lead for the Sparkplugs. Neil Perry with a rebound. Daniela Galvez with a shot. Burrell with a putback. Delisle with a shot blocked. So 2 offensive rebounds. Olivia Webb with a field goal. Camille Perry for three, and it's good. And that's something the last couple of years she hasn't done, but she did it this summer. I watched some games this summer out at South Putnam, and she started getting confidence in shooting the three. It's her second three on the night tonight.
And that's the old adage. Players are made in the summer and teams are made during the season. And I know they put in a lot of, as both teams do, put in a lot of hard work over the summer.
Boy, Ellett comes in as Melinda Bryant takes a seat. As we said earlier, Coach Smith will rotate those people around. Alex Delisle on the drive, and she scores her 8th point on the night. Steal by the Sparkplugs. Camille Perry on the drive.
I think Ritter kind of teetering here on the danger zone. We got a 14-point lead, up from 11.
Third foul on Buck. Camille Perry will go to the line. You said with a 14-point lead for the Plugs, 39-25.
One of those where you don't want to get too far down.
Paige Powell comes into the lineup for the first time for the Sparkplugs, another sophomore.
Also kind of gives Coach Smith and Sparkplugs a little bit of an opportunity maybe to play some of the...
Daniela Galvez with a rebound. Her 14th point on the night. It's 42-25 now. Camille with her first missed free throw of the year after hitting 7 in a row.
Nice job solving that.
Emma Hunt with a field goal for the Raiders.
Nice job, Ritter, that time solving that 1-2-2. It looks like they did a little bit of work in the locker room at halftime.
And a good job hustling back on defense to deflect the ball. Camille Perry for three, misses. Rebound comes off to the Raiders. 4:30 remaining in the third quarter. Near steal by Camille Perry. Now 15, Paige Powell, her first foul. Olivia Webb at the line for the Raiders. With two free throws. Daniela Galvez with a rebound. Joe Smith calls out a play. Camille Perry on the drive, misses the layup. Alex Delisle back up and misses. We got a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to Ritter. Still 42-27, 3:44 remaining in this third quarter. Coach Joe Standifer calls a timeout for the Raiders. Daniela Galvez, I don't know how many rebounds she's got, but it's a bunch.
I hope when we talk to Coach Smith after the game, that I hope he has some ideas of how many rebounds, especially offensive rebound. I mean, we're getting two shots. I say we. Speedway's getting two shots every time down the floor.
Donations to be made in a couple
And you could partly see that when they were in the 1-2-2 zone, or the 2-3 that Ritter was playing. A lot of times the teams have difficulty rebounding out of the zone, but they've been playing some man-to-man and it hasn't really helped much on the rebounding end of it.
The girls JV varsity basketball team hosts a game.
Got a good crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Here at 6 p.m. on Tuesday.
Both sides. Ritter's got some fans here. Sparkplugs do as well. Of course, it probably helped that the little girls were here tonight because probably parents came and the little girls want to see the high school girls that helped them in these camps they've had. So on the floor right now for the Sparkplugs, 4 sophomores and senior Camille Perry. Reagan Hendry enters the lineup for the Sparkplugs. So Reagan Hendry, Chloe Ellett, Daniela Galvez, Paige Powell, Camille Perry. Foul on Kelsey Wagner. For second, Daniela Galvez goes to the line for the first time tonight. Daniela with 14 points so far on the night. Misses both free throws, gets her own rebound, gets fouled again. Fouls on Olivia Webb. Speedway will inbound it. Reagan Hendry.
Checking in for Cardinal Ritter, number 40, Anthony Norton.
I believe there wasn't a foul there.
Scoring pace has slowed down here a little bit in about the last 3 minutes.
Kelsey Wagner's a good player, Coach.
Yes, she is.
She is in good form on her shot. Reagan Hendry on the drive. Gets partially blocked. We've got a foul on the Sparkplugs. I think the foul is on Reagan Hendry.
Number 5, Reagan Hendry.
That's her first foul. 42-27. Like you said a moment ago, a scoring drought here.
Yeah, it is. It's, and you know, both teams have played really hard. Both teams have done a lot of substitutions. But you reach a point where it was early in the year. And
Blocked by Paige Powell. In the Speedway lineup, Melinda Bryant, Aubrey Burrell, and Alex Delisle. Placing Daniela Galvez, Chloe Ellett, and Paige Powell, I'm sorry. Reagan Hendry still in the ball game. Neil Perry, Alex Delisle, Melinda Bryant, Audrey Burrell. Perry on the drive. She's going to go back to the free throw line. Foul on Olivia Webb, her third. Neil Perry back to the line. Just 2 in a row now. And the first ones were so pure. I don't think they did anything but hit the net. The first one. There we go.
There we go.
That's her 9th point on the night. gets her hand on that pass, goes out of bounds. It continued to be Ritter ball, but nice defensive job by Reagan Hendry.
Ritter really needs to make a move pretty soon, Tom. And I know it's never over till it's over, but
three-pointer, Camille Perry.
now
Her third one of the night. You know, just looking at the scoring, Coach, that's her 13th point, but she didn't have a 2-point field goal yet. 3 threes and 4 free throws.
Kind of on that note, I remember when
Steal by Camille Perry.
nice little stutter step and nice pass.
Good pass to Alex Delau. She missed it, got her own rebound. Audrey Burrell on this rebound. We've got a jump ball. It'll be Speedway's ball underneath their basket. 46-27. 1:08 left in the third quarter. Reagan Hendry will inbound the ball. Audrey Burrell with a shot. It's good. Off the pass from Camille Perry, and that's Burrell's 6th point of the night. Another steal by Camille Perry. Ahead to Reagan Hendry. She misses.
Greater foul on number 11, Olivia Webb.
Olivia Webb with her 4th foul on the night.
Reggie Wayne always said some of the hardest passes to catch are the ones where you're wide open. It's easier to catch them when you're guarded. And sometimes that transfers to basketball as well. Let her go.
That's going to break the Ritter scoring drought with Kelsey Wagner, her 14th point on the night. So she's got her average with a quarter left in the game.
Ten seconds ago, we're playing for one, which I completely agree with. If we don't get the last bucket, make sure they don't get it.
Camille Perry for 3 misses, and that completes the third quarter. The score, Speedway 48, Ritter 29.
Shout out tonight, as usual, to our volunteers who these events couldn't go on without people volunteering their time. Claire Kaitos, I think, on the book tonight. Looks to me like maybe Mr. Newland's over there, and Trish Andrew. John Del Carabo on the voice of the plugs tonight. We had the pleasure a couple weeks ago to hear the IHSA commissioner speak. And I know we both came away really impressed with how he addressed issues. He addressed it's a new rule this year, the mercy rule in basketball. And his point was he didn't really agree with it, but he doesn't make the rule. But he was very open and honest with all of his answers, and he addressed transfer rules and seeding possibilities, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I did as well. And I thought, like you said, he was very informative, very well spoken. just a lot of information he gave in a short period of time that about a lot of issues. And the mercy rule, 35-point lead, much like it was in football. Clock runs all the time except timeouts and free throws, I believe, maybe.
But he also, and it comes up every year, the idea of a shot clock, and I agree with him. In high school basketball, I don't want it.
Nice pass from Ployella to Audrey Burrell. Missed the layup. Good pass nonetheless. Neil Perry comes down with a missed shot. Linda Bryant for three. 51-29.
You know, another topic that he brought up that came up earlier with our discussion with one of the officials tonight was the lack of officials that's starting to occur, and for a lot of different reasons. But it's become a major problem to the point where some of the football games might, in the future, have to be played on Saturdays because of lack of teams of officials. And so I guess I'm telling any college kids, if you're watching, to get your officials license and officiate junior high games in your communities where you're going to college, make money, and might be something you like.
Right. And if you hadn't have said that, I would. Any young people out there, male, female, got females in the NFL refereeing and the NBA refereeing, but we need high school sports, if it's going to continue to be what it has. We need to get some good young officials. Alex Delisle with a three-pointer for the Sparkplugs, 54-31 now.
Speedway substitution, number 11, Danielle Galvez, number 14, Genesis Austin, number 24.
The Sparkplugs now have three girls in double figures. Galvez, Perry, and Delisle. Audrey Wendell back in the game. Genesis Austin back in the game. Coach Smith bringing in a couple freshmen to get some experience.
That was a nice drive.
Neil Perry with the drive.
Stutter
That's her
step.
15th point. That is the first 2-point field goal.
I was going to mention that before. I think when Ryan Klein played at Purdue, very good three-point shooter, but I think it was almost his junior year before he ever shot a free throw because he really never took the ball to hole that much.
I heard Matt Painter on an interview 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Nice pass.
Genesis Austin with a field goal. Her first points on the night. First point as a high school player. And Coach Painter was saying how Ryan Klein and Brian Waddell, the guy they're redshirting this year, how smart their IQ is on a basketball floor. It's one of the things we don't talk about very often.
No.
What we do, but makes a huge difference. Coaches, if you can get players that understand the game.
And I've seen both of them play, Waddell in particular on TV last year, and he's exactly right. I guess it does help when you have a dad that played at Purdue earlier in his career too.
you know, it goes all the way up. You watched last night's game, Keelan Martin. Butler, he wasn't a one-and-done guy. Leading scorer for Butler for several years there. But he understands the game, and I think that's why he's getting playing time in the NBA, because he understands the game more than some of the one-and-done guys still do.
I heard an interview last night with Coach K. It was his last year coaching, and it's exactly what he said, the difference now as opposed to 15, 20 years ago. He was talking to Jay Bellis. He says, I had 4 years to work with you guys, and now it's, in many cases, it's 1, sometimes 2.
(58-31), 2:59 remaining in the ball game. One of the things that slowed down the Ritter offense is the Plugs defense on Kelsey Wagner. She had 12 points at the halftime, and she has 16 points now. 4 points in the second half. Perry with a miss. Olivia Webb comes down with a rebound, brings it up the floor, takes it all the way to the basket. Shot was around and out. Chloe Ellett with a rebound. Wendell for 3. Her 5th point on the night. Audrey's going to go to the free throw line.
29-10 so far. Speedway has outscored Ritter in the second half.
Bryant returns for Chloe Ellett. Audrey misses the second. That's her 5th. Daniela Galvez is going to go to the line. Daniela has 14 points on the night. Her first point of the 4th quarter. First free throw. We've seen that more than once tonight.
Yeah, well, she's hit a couple of 3-pointers. Maybe they need to move the free throw line back. Nice.
Emile Perry. Emile Perry takes a seat. She'll finish the night with 15 points. Bryant tracks down the loose ball. Chloe Ellett with a pass over the head of Daniela Galvez. It'll be Ritter ball. 63-31. 59.8 seconds left in the ball game. So a good win for the Sparkplugs, their first win of the season. Get some experience from freshman and sophomore players. The old junior high and high school coach Jim Crumley used to say what was going on right there. Get a stick and beat it to death. Not many players could get the handle on the ball. He went with us up to hear the talk we were having earlier from Commissioner of the IHSA. Since that time, Mr. Crumley's had his 91st birthday.
Wow.
Great coach.
Yep.
Very imaginative, offensive mind in football and basketball. Great sense of humor. At the line, Miko Sykes. Shooting 2, misses the first. Misses the second, and Galvez comes down with a rebound. Audrey Wendell drives to the basket, short, and be Ritter's ball. Olivia Webb brings it up for the Raiders. 3-point shot attempt misses. Genesis Austin with the rebound.
It's going to do it.
And that's going to finish it. Final score, Speedway 63, Ritter 31. We'll be back with your scoring for tonight's game and an interview with Coach Joe Smith. Once again, this is Tom Smith. We're back here at Speedway High School, Pollard Gymnasium, where tonight Speedway ladies Sparkplugs defeated the Cardinal Ritter Raiders 63-31. Your Speedway score: Audrey Burrell had 6, Melinda Bryant had 3, Chloe Ellett 5, Daniela Galvez 15, Genesis Austin 2, Camille Perry 15, Audrey Wendell 6, and Alex Law 11 for their total of 63. Come join me on the other side here, Coach. So the Sparkplugs, ladies Sparkplugs, had 3 people in double figures. Leading score for the Ritter Raiders, as she has been in the other 3 games, was Kelsey Wagner, although the Plugs held her to 4 points the second half for a total of 16. She was her only double figure score. And the Raiders only scored 10 points the second half after trailing at halftime 32-21. They finished with 31. Sparkplugs scored 31 the second half as well for their total of 63. Coach, thoughts about the game?
Well, I told you we worked on zone all week, and they played us in more man than I thought they would. So,
and that's what Coach Joe Stanifer said before the game, that they'd be playing.
But you know, we thought holding anybody to 2 points in any quarter is substantial, and that's what we did. You know, I thought in those games we really want to work. You know, you get up big and you like to work on things. We wanted to work on our matchup zone. We never played it 1 possession tonight. And part of that, I told our kids in the locker room, I wanted them to know they can play man-to-man in the half court and beat a team with 2 really good players.
Yeah.
And that's proof to them we can do that. We love to extend, and we love to diamond press, and we like to do all that stuff, but it's also important for them to know that they can play people in a half-court man set, and that's kind of that's what we did. You know, I thought our 240 diamond press-ish type stuff that we run was okay, but you know, the fear is you get in foul trouble. We compliment a lot of kids in there, but for Camille Perry to play all but about a minute 30 in the game, in a varsity game, that's hard to do.
You know, we were talking about it during the game. I think she only had 1 2-point field goal.
Yeah.
She had 4 threes, I think. I had 15, well, no, 3 threes, I guess, and had 15 points. She'd hit 6 free throws in a row, 4 the first game and the first 2 here, and then missed a couple and then hit some at the end. One of the things that Coach Probst brought up during the game, which I thought was a great point, is he said he was impressed that you were just letting the kids play. They're young, they need to learn mistakes, you correct those, you'll watch tape and stuff, but there wasn't a lot of at the time instruction, letting them play, and he said he was really impressed with that, the fact, and I assume that's kind of the plan. The young kids got to learn to play. It
is. Coach knows the game.
Yes, he does.
So yeah, we absolutely have to let them play. You know, and there's times in practice for 5 to 8 minutes, we'll just let them play 3-on-3 or let them play 4-on. They just learn to play. And they get, they're getting used to playing with each other. You know, we've got young kids that haven't had a lot of varsity experience, and now they're learning to play with Camille and with Melinda, and Daniela played substantial varsity minutes for us last year, but that's it. And letting them play and learn to play with each other, and it's hard to play a varsity basketball game. I mean, it's really taxing on your body. And, I think our kids are in good shape. I don't think that's totally because of us. Coach Nyland, our strength and conditioning coach, they all have him in class during the day. He does flexibility with them. He does strength training with them. He does core work with them. And it's obvious because a lot of these kids last year were getting pushed around on the floor, and they're not anymore. And I think a lot of that is because of Coach Nyland.
And you mentioned Daniela. I don't know how many rebounds she had, but it had to be close to a school record tonight in terms of the rebounds. And you guys were such great offensive rebounders. Whole team was.
And we didn't rebound the ball well last week. And that was an emphasis we made in practice, doing a lot of rebounding type drills. We challenged them before the game. 1 shot. Don't let them get 2 shots in a possession. And I thought our kids kind of took that to heart. And I told Danielle on the bench, she didn't think she played very well. And I said, just because you miss a free throw here or there, or don't score whatever you think you ought to be scoring in your head, that doesn't mean you played bad. I thought she played a really good basketball game. And I think when she sees the final stats, she'll realize that.
Well, she and Camille both had 15 points. And but lots of rebounds on her part. Next week, Danville, that's correct? Next
Danville
week?
On Tuesday, and then we're on the road on Friday and Saturday. So it's kind of like a sectional week. Play Danville. Danville's a good team. They lost a lot like we did, but they're solid athletes. So we'll have our hands full playing them. They'll play aggressive man-to-man defense, and then we go on the road for a conference game next Friday night at Cecina, and then we play at Shortridge on Saturday afternoon. So kids don't want to practice. I wish we had more practice time, but kids don't want to practice. So they're happy that we get to play 3 games.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the victory tonight. Plugs are now 1-1. And we will be back. I believe our next home game is in December against Providence Cristo Rey.
First week. Yep.
Home first week back after
Thanksgiving. Yep.
After Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So we will be back at that time. We thank you for watching tonight's game. We thank Speedway Cable Television for bringing you this game. Brian Pierce. Smile, Brian. Bill P. Ted Howland. We thank you and good night, and once again, thanks for watching Speedway Basketball.